Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday morning, or at least it's morning here. Could be nighttime where you're at. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, what time it is. All right. Hey, we're going to have a great session today. We're going to talk about rewiring your brain. Now, this is not good for everybody because I'm going to be talking about hard work. Oh my God, hard work. That's horrible. Or is it? I'm going to get into it today with the psychology of it and why it happens to you and why you feel so bad and you don't want to do these things. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there, turn it from red to gray. And don't forget to ring the bell, the big notification bell. It's down there. You got to turn it on because if you don't, you won't know when I go live or if I upload a video. And I want you to really use this chat section today, guys. This is a very interactive training I do here. I don't sell anything. I don't give anything away. I used to give stuff away. I don't do that either. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help you start, run, and grow online businesses. So I want you to be involved. The best way to get ahead is be involved. You got to be involved in life, right? I heard somebody saying the other day, what if you achieved all your goals? Now, I don't even know what that means, but let's say you achieved all your goals, whatever your goals were, and you made a bunch of money and you were just set for life. I mean, what are you going to do? Just lay in your bed and have people bring you food? I mean, it's like, you got to do something, right? So this work thing that we're going to be talking about today is so very important. I'm going to talk to you about why it's hard to do hard work, why it's hard to study or go to the gym or any of these things, because it all has to do with your brain. But I'm also going to talk about rewiring your brain. Rewiring your brain is super important. So that's going to be our subject matter today. And, I've studied this a lot. I've really spent some time on this. It's like, you decide you're going to go, let's say you want to write a book. Okay. Let's take a big one, right? This is something everybody kind of wants to do. Most people never do it. But let's say you want to do that. And you say, oh my gosh, first off, that's a lot of work and goodness gracious, I don't even know where to start. And, it seems like, it's so much to do. And besides that, I've got to do the laundry right now and I got to prepare for dinner. And I think I'm going to do it tomorrow. And, the kids are yelling right now and it's just not a good time. And, I'm really kind of exhausted from my day and blah, 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 blah. All these things pop up in your brain. And we're going to talk about why these things pop up in your brain, because there is a reason for this, guys. And it's not you. Okay. You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. Let me erase that right off the bat. You don't have a problem. There is a problem, but it's not you. You're okay. You're cool. Okay. Everything's okay with you, but there's definitely a problem there. And that's what I want to kind of get into today. When we think about oh my goodness. When we think about the things we have to do, what's the first thing that pops into your brain? What is that first thing? And you're welcome to put it in that in that comment section there. I actually enjoy hard work. That's a crazy thing to say, right? I actually find happiness and joy in it. And I believe without a doubt in my mind, those who feel the most fulfilled at the end of their lives are those who have chosen to work hard during their lives. I really do believe that. Those people who just kind of coasted their whole life and never really did much, I don't think they have a lot of appreciation for life. I really don't. And I'm not talking about, the kind of work where you just staying busy. Well, I've been busy all day. I've been doing this and doing that, but they don't really accomplish anything. They just stay busy. What I'm saying is there's a lot of importance to doing your work, whether it's paid or unpaid, okay, in a focused and really deliberate way, okay? Putting work itself on a really high pedestal, something that you would really admire, doing your best, and if you think about this, when you go into a room and if somebody says, hey, that guy over there, that lady over there, really accomplished, got 3 degrees, wrote 4 books, set the world record for push-ups. I mean, all of a sudden, your view of that person over there changes entirely. You're like, wow. Look at that person. Look at all they've accomplished. This accomplishment thing is only going to come out of hard work. I don't think I've ever met anybody who was a very accomplished person who said they didn't work hard. Never. I'm talking money. I'm talking sports. I'm talking anything. They always put in hard work. Okay. And you say, well, some people win the lottery. Yeah, some people do. And it's pretty rare. And when they do, look at what happens to their life afterwards. If they didn't earn it, or if they inherited it or whatever, they just don't have the same appreciation for it, right? They just don't. And their life can really just go into the shambles. So your goal really should be hard work. Okay. That should be your goal. And I'm talking about studying. I'm talking about your job. I'm talking about your business. I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about all these things. Your goal should be working hard. It should be doing things that are difficult. I wrote something the other day, and basically what it said was, if you're not, I'm trying to think of how I put it, but basically, if you're not really working hard, then you're really not going to have any enjoyment in life. And that's a crazy thing to say, right? Because a lot of people say, well, I want to avoid hard work. I don't want to have to work hard. I just want to get by. But there's actually reasons for this. And I want to go through all these reasons. And once you understand all these reasons, I'm going to give you a way to look at things differently. And let me throw some of these comments up here on the screen. Looks like my buddy Paul's there. How you doing, Paul? Hey, I leave soon for that cruise, Paul. You're going to miss out. It is sold out now, unfortunately. I feel when you believe in being a servant leader, entrepreneur, it gives you the sense of purpose to get going and keep going. Very true. Like today, right, I'm doing this live. And that was one of my goals, is to do this live and to affect somebody who could listen to this and come back away from it and go, hey, I think I'm going to do these things. I think I'm going to change my perspective on stuff. So that's really my goal today. And that keeps me going, right? First off, number one, work forces personal development. It just does. Work by its very nature gives you challenges, and it also presents these growth opportunities. It requires us to really develop and improve and become a better version of ourselves. And that's what we should be doing every day, is we want to improve ourselves, right? The more we grow, the better at work we get, and the greater the challenges become, the more satisfied we're going to become. And it's a weird thing. And I'm going to get right back to the thing is, when you're supposed to write that book or, work on that website or go to the gym or any of these things, instantly we're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second, but I'm also going to tell you how to change that. Number two, when we do work and we do hard work, it actually benefits mankind as a whole. Okay. Our work actually contributes to a better society. It serves others. And that's what Paul just said, serving others is so important. It actually enriches people's lives. It moves everybody forward, not just you, everybody. So when I do this training today and I provide you this information, it helps move me forward, but it also helps move you forward. We are all, doing our best, whether working at a fast food place or delivering mail or analyzing stocks or, curing cancer, whatever you want to say it is. It all matters. Some people say, well, that doesn't matter, and this doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter. Everything matters. Everything matters. When you go to the gym, you need to do the most you can do at the gym. You do. When you work on your website, you need to make it as good as you possibly can. You need to put all your effort in. There's no such thing as good enough. There's no such thing as good enough. It doesn't exist. Okay. We can view our work as an act of love to people we serve. That's how you can actually look at this stuff. And you almost have to, because if you just look at the task of work and hard work, it's not very appealing. It's not. I know it's not appealing to me on a daily basis, but when I don't want to give you the secret to all this yet. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to do that yet. Okay. Let's just move on to number three. And we were talking about the importance of hard work in case you're lost. And also, feel free to put those comments up there. I really appreciate those. Those do help a lot. Paul's got another one there. He says, I think it's also important to get rid of the clutter that gets in the way of your focus. Learning to say no is a big help. It really is. It really is. Over the years, I've had people say, hey, matter of fact, there's a female, there's a friend of mine online, very successful person, has written a couple books, has a very successful business. She approached me one day. She goes, I want you to be my mentor. And I said, absolutely not. I can't do that. I can't do that. Mentoring. But I said, I will do this. I will help you along the way. And over the years, and it's been about 3 years now since we had this conversation, she's had questions for me and I've answered them. But I don't want to be responsible for her success. I can't be responsible for her success. That's why I quit doing consulting. And I was making a lot of money. I was at the rate of $2,000 an hour for consulting. Now, and that's not a lot to some people, but to me, it was a lot. But I didn't want to be responsible for other people's success, because in many cases, I would mentor somebody or consult with them or whatever you want to call it, and they wouldn't do what I told them. And that was just terribly frustrating to me. So I decided not to do that. And it wasn't that I didn't want to help this person. I still do help her, as a matter of fact, and we still talk. It is just that I don't want to be responsible for her success. Okay. You ultimately at some point have to be responsible. You can ask for advice. You can ask questions. I mean, you could do that today right here on this live, but ultimately it's going to be up to you. The next thing I want to tell you is it's a great example for your children. If you have children and they see you working hard, it is an incredible example to them. When you strive to do your best every single day, when you really, really try to do your best, your kids will notice this. And among the greatest character traits, I hope to pass on to my children, and I think I have, is the importance of working hard and doing your best. Both of my kids are very accomplished. And I take great pride in that because I was a single dad. They both exercise on a daily basis. They both watch what they eat. My son is actually a bodybuilder, and my daughter actually does coaching for people working out. But business-wise, they both work hard too. My daughter is the mother of 3 kids. She has twin 3-year-olds and a 6-year-old. She works online for a company, plus she has her own company. My son is at the Cleveland Clinic, and he works at the Heart Lung Transplant Center. Works very hard. Plus, he's a bodybuilder, and he's doing very well. Just bought himself a Tesla the other day. I was very proud of him. He was proud of himself. But working hard, your kids are going to see this. If you just just don't do your job, do you come home at the end of the day and say, yeah, I kind of half-assed it today. I did about 40% of what I could do. Is that what you want to tell your family, your wife, your husband? Is that what you really want to say? Probably not. Okay. And the next thing on my list here, Richard Senta, what's up, my friend? He just popped in here to say good morning. I appreciate it. Another hardworking guy. I love it. I love it. I've got all the hardworking people on here today. And this is such an unpopular subject, guys. For me to do a video on working hard, I knew that would turn off 95% of the people, maybe 98% of the people. But the people who get it are the people who get it. Okay, if you know what I mean. So work hard at work to work hard at life. Okay, these are all life lessons. We learned important life lessons when we give ourselves over to hard work, determination, responsibility, problem solving, attentiveness, the self-control it takes to do this. These lessons in turn serve us in other areas. They serve us in our health. I've already mentioned it, our relationships, our hobbies. And this is the thing about why everything's important. Some people say, well, this is not that important. That's not that important. It's all important. Here's why it's all important. All of these habits spill over. It's interesting when I go to some of these digital marketing things and I meet some of the people that are just wildly successful online, and they've written books and they do speeches and all that. They're normally in shape. They're normally healthy people. Now, you can find exceptions to any of this. I'm not saying you can't. And the lazy person will say, well, I'm going to find an exception. But the accomplished person is going to say, yeah, pretty much. It's hard to do really good in business and your family and do all the things you do right and then be totally out of shape and unhealthy, because all of these things kind of spill over. Okay. You start to think, well, everything matters, and it does matter. Okay. It does matter. Let's see. Paul's got another comment there. Let me get him up on the screen. There you go, buddy. Let's see here. What's Paul got to say? It says, doing work you like is a key. There's nothing worse than being in a job you hate or work with people you don't respect. Feels like prison. Yes, it does. I remember why you started your business. Yeah, Paul's bringing up the fact there was this guy. I won't say his name. He's since passed away. He actually died of drugs and alcohol, but he was my boss, and he was very high up. He was one of the owners of the company I worked for, and I was the vice president there. And I didn't respect him. I didn't respect how he lived his life. I didn't respect how he treated others. I didn't respect his work ethic, which was almost non-existent. He ended up getting demoted further and further. He lost his ownership. He had a % ownership in this company. He got demoted, and he went to rehab like 5 times. They finally kicked him out, ended up dying in his home of drugs and alcohol. And I didn't respect him, and I didn't want to be there for this reason. Okay, I didn't want to take instruction from somebody who couldn't handle their own life, and you probably don't either. So, if you're one of those people in one of those positions now, look for an alternative. I sat yesterday with a lady who was in a job that she didn't really care about much, but she had a lot of knowledge. And I said, "Why are you doing it?" She says, "I don't know. I know I've reached the top of this, position. I can't go any further." I'm like, "Why are you doing it?" She's 46 years old. And I think maybe I got through to her. I don't know. I told her, I've talked to thousands of people about the same situation they're in, and very rarely do any of them do anything. So, I don't know. Do I waste my breath? I don't know. Every now and then I get through to somebody. The next thing I would tell you is work hard because you want to make the best use of your hours. Here's why. The hours are going to pass anyhow. Are they going to be hollow hours? Or are they going to be hours that you just waited for them to pass? Each new day brings an important choice. Either we're going to fill it up with our best, or we're going to allow it to just slip away, because it is going to slip away. It's going to happen. There are no other options. The hours are going to pass away and you're going to make nothing of them, or you're going to fill them with hard work and accomplishment. What are you going to do? There's no other option here. There's no other option. Choosing to work hard makes the most of them. And the reason I'm doing this whole training today is so that when you say, "I've got some work to do," or "I've got some studying to do," or "I've got this gym thing to do," I want you to think of all these things. You can write them down later on. You can come back and listen to this again. I'm not discounting the importance of rest. Okay. I know it's important to rest. Rest is important, but that's a whole different thing. And you know it, and I know it. You can't rest all day long. Okay. You can't do that. We're getting ready to go on a cruise, and I know a lot of people are saying, "Well, I want to just sit by the pool and read a book." Now, I may read some part of a book. I can't sit by a pool and relax. I have a really hard time with that. I feel like I'm losing part of my life when I do that. I feel like it's just getting wasted. Okay. But I do agree there should be some rest, but I think most people rest too much. I think that rest thing gets a little ridiculous after a while. Next thing I'm going to tell you is work is fulfilling in and of itself. In my opinion, there aren't that many joys in life, and that satisfying is laying down at the end of the day with a tired body, knowing that you did your best. You did your best at your job. You did your best on your business. You did your best at the gym. You did your best. Whew, that's a really good feeling. That's something I really like. Okay. That's something that I just can't put enough passion into. I really can't. I think it's so very important. Next thing I'm going to tell you. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing great on time. Working hard keeps our lives occupied with important matters. Okay. Depression is something that a lot of people in the world experience on a daily basis. Now, real clinical depression, you can't help. Not much you can do about that. However, a lot of people are depressed because of their situation. They say, I have a bad relationship going on with my spouse or significant other, male, female, I don't know, whatever it is. I have a bad relationship going on and it's depressing me. I don't have any money in the bank and it's depressing me. I don't have any fulfillment in my work and it's depressing me. My health is not real good and it's depressing me. Okay, lay down all those factors and stop for a second. Let's take the first one, relationships. What are you doing in your relationship? A lot of people say, "I want a really good person to have a relationship with. I want somebody who's attractive, in shape, is financially secure, is a nice person." Then I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say, "Are you that person?" Because see, whoever you are is who you'll attract. Think about that. Whoever you are is who you'll attract. If you're out of shape and overweight and unhealthy, is there something you could do about it? Are you exercising on a regular basis? Are you eating the right foods? Also, in this relationship thing, we're still stuck on this relationship thing. Are you a kind person? Do you, do things that are nice for other people? People will see this. People see how you act, okay? So when you're out there in the world doing whatever you're doing, are you kind to other people? A lot of times at the end of these trainings, I'll say, go out and be kind to somebody. People are watching you, okay? If they see that you're a kind person, if they see that you care about your personal appearance, if they see that you want to help other people, they're going to be attracted to you. But you're not going to attract somebody that wants somebody like that if you're not like that. You see what I'm saying? You have to become what you want. Okay. That's what you have to do. So there's your relationship thing. There's your health thing. Finance. Okay. Well, I'm depressed because my finances aren't very good. Well, what are you doing to improve them? Well, I have a job and it only pays X number of dollars. Well, what are you doing in your off time? Are you working on your own business? Are you trying to get another job? Are you picking up more hours? What are you trying to do to change that situation? If you're doing nothing to change that situation, that may be why you're depressed. You're not happy with yourself. But here's the cool thing. Here's the really cool thing. You can change all of this at any point you want. You can change it today. You can say, okay, I heard what he said. I heard what he said, and I think I'm just going to change it. And you'll be surprised how that will affect your mental well-being too. What does Richard got to say? I like to work extremely hard and smart for 1 week so I can stay busy enjoying life traveling. And guys, you don't know Richard, but this is absolutely true. This is what he does. Exploring and visiting my friends and family for the other 3 weeks. Okay. And that's what's working for him, but he works hard for the week. See, you can't always vacation. That gets very old very quick. A lot of people say, well, if I had your money, I would just go sit on the beach and drink beer. You're going to be a very sad person after a couple of weeks. You really will, because you can't do that. You can't do that for long, not for long. You'll find out there's nobody else on the beach but bums or people who are taking short vacations. That's all the beach is full of, okay? It's not full of accomplished people that have decided to sit down for the rest of their life. You won't find too many accomplished people that get to 65 or 70 or 80 who sit down and go, okay, I'm going to do nothing now. They can't. If they've accomplished a lot and they've gotten to that point, it's their personality to keep going. And really, your job as a human is to really just never quit. I just finished David Goggins' last book, and it's called, I think it's called You're Never Finished, but it's a great book. You're Never Finished, I think is what it's called. And it's true. You're not finished till you're dead. You're not finished till you're dead. And I've had people say, well, JR, you don't understand. I just hate my job. I just don't like it. Okay. Well, what are you doing about it? Not every job is enjoying and fulfilling and going to motivate you. And I get that. But what are you doing about that? Are you putting your all into your job? And if you really don't want that job, what are you doing to change that situation? There are other jobs out there. That's not the only job there is. Okay. I can promise you there's people who had a career and quit that career and got into something else they liked. I can promise you that. And if that's what you want to do, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you actually just doing that thing that you keep saying that's upsetting you? Paul says, the worst job I ever had, I was forced to take for health insurance. And, sometimes we have to suck it up, don't we? Sometimes we have to suck it up and do things we don't want to do to get to where we want to be. I swore that I will never be in a position to ever have to take a position because I have to dig your well now. Yeah, and I get it, Paul. And I've been in positions like that, when I was a single dad and, I had to have an income and had to take care of my kids and all that stuff. But you know what? You can work on improving that situation. You can work on improving your skills. A lot of people will say, well, Jay, I don't have any other skills. This is all I know how to do. I remember seeing a news report, and it was about a factory that had closed, and there was a guy who had worked there for 35 years or whatever, 30 some odd years. And he was being interviewed by the newscaster, and the newscaster put the microphone up to him. They said, what are you going to do now? He says, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've been here for 35 years. I've put all my life into this company and I'm being laid off now. It seems terribly unfair. And I have no other skills. There's nothing else I can do but this job, which was a total lie, right? For 35 years, what did he do when he got off at work? Did he study? Did he learn to do new things? Did he develop new skills? What did this guy do for 35 years? He could have become a brain surgeon twice over. But he chose to just say, you know what, I'm going to hang my whole future on this company. Why would you do that? Why would, and even if you like a company, even if you like your job, why would you not take some portion of your life for personal development? Why would you not do that? Now, I'm going to give you the big answer to all this. Are you ready for the big answer? You know, I've been talking about this. It's difficult to study. It's difficult to work hard. It's difficult to go to the gym. But the problem with all of this, and I want you to stop and think about this. Oh, wait, somebody else put a comment there. Let me stick this up there. It's a little slow to come in on this screen. I've got my YouTube over here. It's a little slow to come in the screen. It takes a second or two more. Paul says, I am blown away by the excuses come up with not to pursue something they like. Excuses are like the bricks that built the house of failure. Yeah, he's always got some good sayings, Paul does. But I'm going to tell you why you haven't accomplished these things. I'm going to tell you why you don't like to study. I'm going to tell you why you don't want to go to the gym. I'm going to tell you why you don't want to work hard. Are you ready for it? If you're ready, say I'm ready. Give me a like. Give me a like. That'll tell me you're ready. I don't have any likes yet. I need some likes on here. Give me a like. And don't forget, of course, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you why. Come on in here. Come on in here. Let me tell you why. You're focusing on the task, not the result. You're focusing on the task, not the result. So you say, well, I want to start going to the gym 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever it is. And before you go to the gym, you're like, oh, I got to go to the gym. I got to get on the treadmill. I got to lift those weights. I got to do push-ups and sit-ups. You're focusing on the task, not the goal. The goal is not to go to the gym. Never has been to go to the gym. The goal is to be healthy and feel good. Okay. What if when you said, gee, I have to go to the gym, instead of saying I have to go to the gym, say, I'm going to go to the gym so I can feel good tomorrow. I want to go to the gym so I can lose that weight and feel better about my appearance. I want to go to the gym because I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to have a stroke. I don't want to have high blood pressure. That's the goal. You need to focus on the goal. When you have to sit down to study, and let's say you're in medical school, let's pick that one. Okay. That person in medical school knows the goal. The goal is to become a doctor. The goal is to have a profession that will pay their bills. The goal is to have respect and be called doctor. Okay. So you got to sit down. You got to focus on the goal. Don't focus on the task. That's why most people can't study. That's why most people can't go to the gym. That's why most people don't have a prosperous business, is because they're focusing on the task. They have to build a website. Oh, I got to write a sales letter. Oh, I got to build a funnel. Oh, it's hard. No, focus on the goal. Focus on the success. Focus on what it's going to look like when you come out the other end. Then you can do these things. This is the problem. And I told you I was going to reveal it at the end. This is the big reveal. Everybody is focusing on the task. The task is not going to motivate you ever. Let me get a sip of water here. Been talking too long. The thing you need to focus on is what's going to happen if you do these tasks. Do not focus on the task. There's this exercise machine at my gym, and it's this rope, and it's coiled around this big bar. And on the big bar, there is tension. So when you pull the rope, it's hard to pull, and it's just a big loop, and it goes around the circle, and the rope's like this big around, and it's hard to grasp. And you just pull this thing down, and you'll never complete it, ever complete it. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, I know what my goal is. I know what my goal is to be strong. Okay. My goal is, and it's so funny. I just finished David Goggins' book, and I talk about him a lot because I love what he's got to say. And if you don't know David Goggins, it's David Goggins. Just look him up. You'll see what I mean. But I normally go to 100. On this particular day, I'm almost to 100. I'm actually slowing down near the end. I'm not giving it my 100%. And it pops into my mind what David Goggins says. He says, you have so much more left in the tank. And if you're listening to me right now, believe me, you have a lot more left in the tank. And on this particular day, when I'm at 90 and I'm slowing down, I was thinking about what he said. So I started speeding up, and I went faster and faster, and I hit 100. And I was like, no. And I went further and further, and I went to 110. Could I have done 120? Probably. But the point is, my mind switched. It said, wait a second, you got more in the tank. You got a lot more in the tank than what you realize. You're just focusing on that goal of 100 when you could do a whole lot more. Now, I could have sat there, maybe gone to 200. I don't know, would have been very exhausted. But the point is, when you think you're done, you're not done. Okay. You're not done. There's a whole lot more there for you. Let me put another comment up here. Paul's really being helpful today. I appreciate it. I think it's important to live your life by your design and you're living by default. I've got something I want to say about that. Let me read the rest of this. You nailed it with the focus on the goal. Take massive amounts of inspired, prioritized action today. I like the way he says today. Now, the first part is pretty interesting. I think it's important to live your life by design or you are living by default. Here's the truth to that, Paul. You are living your life by design. Okay. Either way, if you don't put forth your effort, that is your design. If you decide not to do your best, that is your design. You're going to get very bad results when you do that, but everybody is living their life by design. And I think a lot of times we don't stop and realize that. We don't stop and go, wait a second, my finances, my health, my home, my social circle, my relationships are all designed by what I've done. These are all a culmination of your decisions up to this point. Everything you have right now is a culmination of your decisions. They say we make over 500 decisions every day. 500 decisions every day. Now, these may be kind of subconscious, but you're deciding where you're going to eat. You're deciding if you're going to go to the gym. You're deciding how hard you're going to work. You're making all these decisions throughout the day. And your life right now, no matter what age you are, okay, unless you're an infant, obviously, you wouldn't be listening to this. But if you're an adult right now, you are a product of your decisions right now. Now, for some of you, you're like, yes, I'm happy about that. I think that's great. Look at me. For some of you, you may be looking at yourself going, dang, that's hurtful. Why do you have to say that? Because I'm out of shape and my finances are screwed and I've blown money on stupid things. But here's the great part. Here's the great part of that. If you get a little bit depressed about that, stop for a second and go, you know what? I've got the power to change all that. It's not too late if you're alive. It's not too late if you're alive. There was a guy in San Diego that I read about. He was out of shape. He was in his mid 70s and he was a smoker almost his entire life. And he was at the beach one day being very overweight, mid 70s, and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So he decided, instead of going to the beach and just looking at the ocean every day, to start going for a walk. And he started losing some weight and he quit smoking and he decided to start running. And as a matter of fact, in his 80s, he ended up running several marathons. Now, I don't know what happened. I'm sure he's dead now because this was many years ago. But the point was, he decided that in his 70s. I don't know how old you are. I don't, some of you do because I know who you are. But it's funny how at any point in your life you can make this switch. He made this switch. He made the best of his life from his mid 70s on forward. I don't know where you're at in your life. I couldn't tell you. But I know one thing, you can make that switch. Now, this is not about making money today, or is it about making money? Maybe it is. Most of my talks are about, how to start, run, and grow online businesses. However, you need to understand how to make that stuff happen. And that's what this is all about today. Paul says, I can't stand seeing all the wasted lives in the stores that look like zombies in the workplace. Yeah, I see that a lot. They have no goals and totally lack any motivation. Definitely need to distance from them. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. Hopefully this may strike a little spark with some of them, get them to do something. That would be great, right? That's what I'm all about, right? Make changes, do something more. Do I do 100% all the time? Absolutely not. No, I struggle with this just like you. And, I heard David Goggins, and I brought him up so many times in this training today, but I heard him on an interview, and he's run 250-mile races. He ran 3 of them back to back. 250 miles, guys. He set the world record for pull-ups. And somebody asked him a question, and they said, well, do you ever wake up in the morning and not want to go for a run or work out? And he looked at the interviewer. He says, every single day. He says, I look over at my shoes And I'm like, I don't have to do that. I've accomplished all this stuff. I don't have to put those shoes on. I don't have to strap them on. I don't have to go out and prove anything to anybody. I've been a Navy SEAL. I've been an Army Ranger. I set the world record for, I don't have to, but I'm going to do it again. Okay. I'm going to do it again. Yeah. It's hard for all of us. It's not just hard for you. My son was a personal trainer for a short period in his life, and he says it drove him nuts because people would come in and say, well, Patrick, you don't understand. I just really like food and I don't like working out. He says, really? You think you're the only one, huh? You think it's just you. We all struggle with this, guys. Every single one of us struggle with this. Every single one of us go through this on a daily basis. Every day I get up, no matter what I've done the day before, and I don't want to do things again because I've got to get my brain right. I've got to realize I've got to focus on the goal, not the task. Focus on the goal, not the task. I think it's important to be around people who inspire us, like your buddy is in San Diego. Yeah, he's very inspiring. Distance yourself from the toxic people. Yeah, and I think who you're talking about, Paul, is Luigi, who just came and stayed with us, him and his wife. Luigi I've known since I was in my 20s. He's 88 now. He speaks, I think, 4 languages. He's a engineer. He's an attorney, and he's still learning stuff, and he's still traveling, and he's had terminal cancer for over 10 years now. Yeah, I love Luigi. He's a great guy. He taught me how to windsurf when I was in my 20s and he was in his 50s. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. I've known him for 30 some odd years, I think 35, 36 years. I've lost track. But the point is he's never quit. And whatever age you are, guys, you can make a turn right now. You can make a big turn right now. You can quit saying I'm gonna and actually do it. Mel Robbins does a good talk on that. I'm about to close this down, but look up Mel Robbins. It's called the 5-second rule. And I try to implement that a lot in my life. I don't do this stuff perfectly by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want you to say, well, you're special and you can do this, JR, but I can't because I'm different. No, you're not. We're exactly the same. We have the same struggles in life. We all do. Now, you may have been presented with different circumstances. Maybe you were, grew up in a bad neighborhood, which actually I did. I grew up in a really bad neighborhood, full of crime, and I was part of it. But you don't have to stay there. Because you're in a circumstance or because you are faced with situations doesn't mean you've got to stay where you're at. Don't tell yourself that. That's BS. You're just lying to yourself. Quit your lying, okay? And get something done. I hope you enjoyed that today. I hope I didn't beat you up too much. Did I beat you up too much? If not, if I didn't beat you up too much, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there. Turn it from red to gray. Okay, back to the normal stuff. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a video. Guys, thank you so much for being with me on this today. This was a hard subject. This is a very difficult one. This is one that most people don't want to talk about. Okay, it's not talked about, but it needs to be talked about because it's going to change your life. Looking forward to hearing about the Marketers Cruise. Have a great week, gang. Yeah, we leave on the 26th, Paul, and I hope to do some lives while I'm there. It's really touch and go doing lives on the ship because the internet sucks. But we're going to try. And if nothing else, I am going to record a lot there. I want you guys to see what we're doing, what we're going through, where we're going to be at. We're going to be on the Carnival Spirit, and it's going to St. Thomas, St. Martin, Dominican Republic, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we're going to be in several different places, and it's a long one. This is a long one, Paul. This is an 8-day one. This is a long cruise. So I think we'll enjoy it. I really enjoy input from you guys. So do me a favor, comment below, put stuff in the chat, do all the stuff, the subscribing stuff and the thumbs up. I still need those thumbs up. Don't forget that. I'm looking at you. I know if you've done a thumbs up or not. So please do that if you don't mind. I would really, really appreciate it. That helps these videos so much, gets more distribution for us. All you gotta do is click the thumbs up. I'll give you a second to do it. You okay? Did you do it? Did I give you enough time? All you had to do is click that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Guys, you have a wonderful day. I will be live again on Friday. And until then, man, go out, be kind to people, work hard, concentrate on the goal. Don't concentrate on the task. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you real soon.